Metal legs scrape tile. Commands stack on top of each other, deputies pile in. You can map the sequence frame by frame. A clinch, a stumble, the crush at the rail. Control becomes the only goal. The chain reaction is ugly, fast, and precisely what the secure facility rules are built to prevent, as Jackson's pinning and biting breach ORS 163.175 for assault in the second degree by intentionally causing physical injury. The court clerk and Jackson emerge unharmed, but Talmadge suffers multiple scratches to his face and bites to his arm and hand. Deputies also report bite marks. That's the key detail. The people tasked with keeping order absorb the damage, and the venue turns into evidence. Now let's look at the procedure. There's a fork when conduct escalates in court. One lane is contempt internal sanctions for disrupting proceedings. The other is new criminal conduct assault, menacing harassment charged by prosecutors as independent crimes. Legally speaking, this changes everything. Contempt punishes disrespect for the judge's authority. Assault punishes harm to people, different statutes, different exposure. Think of due process like a checklist. If violence breaks it, the system suspends the old tasks and prioritizes safety. Stabilize the room, separate the participants, document injuries, only then return to the underlying allegations. The evidence suggests prosecutors deliberately separate the new acts from the old case to emphasize institutional safety and deterrence, which brings us to the narrative shift that happens on the record. The defense may want to talk about the trespassing facts or the pocket knife allegation out on the street. Prosecutors pivot to the new harm inside the courthouse. They frame the case around deterrence, send a message that the venue itself is off limits for intimidation. They audit the footage, secure statements from the clerk, Talmadge, and deputies, and lock in medical notes for the injuries. The courtroom becomes Exhibit A for the state's theory that order must be defended immediately and decisively. And the consequences reflect that reframing Jackson receives a 6-year sentence for the assault in the courtroom. Not a contempt sanction, a felony sentence for new criminal conduct. Meanwhile, the original trespassing, unlawful use of a weapon, and resisting charges remain pending. The record shows how the institution answers an attack on its core function. It separates charges and sentences independently, signaling that the venue is not a shield for violence. Legally, this educates on deterrence's role, where penalties like Measure 11's mandatory minimums ensure swift accountability to preserve judicial trust. Let me know in the comments, was this justified under the law? If protecting the forum is the first duty, then the penalty tracks the risk the act created.